Choice is the first step, but not the last step in the journey of change. Grace and peace, everybody. Welcome to Sabbath School Study Group. My name is Chris Bailey, part number 3 of our 5-part series. We've been talking about choice in this series, and now we're going to see that place that choice has in our experience of change. It's the first step. It is the alpha, but it is not the omega. It's like banging on a cymbal. The contact that this drumstick makes with the cymbal, that's the initial action. But now I know what's coming from that reaction by the resonance or the sounding, the tingling of the cymbal. It's the same thing. When God has touched our heart, in that moment that we've made the decision to say, yes, Lord, that's just the beginning of the resounding, and that's what we call change. But before we make that connection, thank you for connecting with us. Please subscribe to the channel if you can, like the video to help others find it. And we'd like to come to your church or school. If you'd like for us to come to your church, school, or group, all you have to do is send us an email. And that email address is contact@changeministry.org. So let's go to the word in Joshua chapter 24, looking at choice as the first, but not the last step in the journey of change. Joshua says unto the people, after they've had this discourse, where if you remember the previous lessons, he asked them, please make a choice. They said, we're going to choose God. And Joshua said unto the people, you are now witnesses against yourselves that you have chosen you, the Lord, to serve him. And they said, we are witnesses. So now Joshua is putting a stamp on the fact that I'm recording your choice. But remember, your decision is to follow. So what comes first, the following or the decision? The decision. But the decision is not the end. It's just the beginning of following. So when you go on now to verse 23, now therefore, Joshua says, if you've made this choice, put away, said he, the strange gods which are among you, and incline your heart unto the Lord God of Israel. I'm so glad we have a God who loves us enough to let us choose. But once we've made that choice, it's just the beginning of the change. It's why he says, if that's your choice, now let's put away. And I love the fact that the putting away, it's not just a one-time thing, but he uses the word there, that verb where he says incline. He uses this word where he says, incline your heart unto the Lord. Now, I know a lot about reclining. Some of you all might have recliners at home. Big lazy boys or whatever kind of lounge chair it is. And usually when we recline, what do? We go back. So it's as if he's saying you all have been back in sin. You've been laid back in the flesh. Now God is calling you forth to live by his spirit, as if he's raising you up. So when you push that button or you pull the lever, I don't know how nice yours is, and you might not even work anymore, and you got to do it on your own. You're inclining, you're growing and going nearer to that raised up state. Every time we say yes to God, every day, we're beginning and continuing the incline movement. Some people call it sanctification. But I hope we see it in a new and living way, that God is calling us out of ourselves and into himself. That's a process. It doesn't just happen at church. It doesn't just happen in the appeal of a sermon. It happens day by day, inclining, but it starts with a choice. Again, we see this principle one more time. In the 24th verse of Joshua 24, the people said unto Joshua, the Lord our God we will serve. They're saying, this is my decision, and his voice will we obey. That's the change.